Welcome to a new episode of Depreciation Nation, and if you are just seeing us for the first time, welcome. And if you've been following us for a while, welcome back. Now behind me, you are going to see a 2020 C8 Corvette. But before we get into that, why don't you hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen so that you don't miss more awesome, eclectic content like this. Now, if you've been following Corvette, for many years it was a front-engined rear-drive car. We have already filmed a video of the C5 on our channel, but what we wanted to know was just how good the C8 is. Now the C8 behind me comes courtesy of Dorsett Automotive out of Terre Haute, Indiana, and a link to their inventory is in the description below. We love Dorsett's because they loan us awesome cars like this for videos, and they enable us to bring some amazing content to you that we would not have access to otherwise. Now, when this car launched, it has kind of sort of been advertised as the supercar for everyone, and based on the claims of the older Corvettes, the platform was limited with the front engine and rear drive, and they were traction limited, and so Corvettes on the edge have felt kind of nervous. And so what GM has done is they have created a mid-engine concept with the engine mounted just behind the cabin, and they have created a car that's secondary to a McLaren. If you don't know what you're looking at, you can't quite tell what's coming at you. Now this particular car has 4,400 miles on it, and it is a base LT model, still fitted with very nice equipment, a very nicely appointed interior, and overall, a great looking car in a world of C8 shortages. So, what we are here to find out today is if the car can back up those supercar claims. So, let's go for a ride. So here we are in the C8 Corvette, and my initial first impression is one of the things that I thought was really bizarre was the shape of the steering wheel. It is almost a square or a rectangle, and having said that, I absolutely love it. It might be my favorite interior piece that there is. We've got the plexiglass behind us. We can certainly see the motor back there, and the interior is incredibly exotic. Switch gear is General GM. The instrument cluster is great. My, the sun is bright today. Overall, initial impressions are very, very good, considering that this car will go toe-to-toe with a McLaren 570, at least with its acceleration numbers, and it's less than half the price. Seats are very McLaren-like. I drove a 570 a few years ago, and that car made quite the impression on me, and really sticks out in my mind, and so that has kind of created the benchmark for everything that I look at now. And this car reminds me a lot of that. Infotainment looks good. Of course, we've got our standard sport and race modes on this particular car. Sound is great. And the ride is better. Now, I will tell you that I am driving this back to back with the GTR that you saw a few weeks back. And to be quite honest, this is light years ahead of the GTR. It is not super stiff. It is not super clunky. It is not super loud. This is incredibly refined, and to be quite honest, this is not at all what I anticipated, and this is a delightful experience. The visor could be in a bit of a different place. So this is just a much better experience than I anticipated off of some of the other cars that I have driven and the older Corvettes. This car is very refined, and GM has set a whole new benchmark with this car. It is comfortable, it makes all of the right noises, but when the V8 comes on, it is refined. Okay, let's see if we can change a mode. We're in touring right now. We just switched over to sport. The transmission shifted down a gear and the steering got heavier. And now we are in track mode. And this is amazing. With the new Z06 coming out, keep in mind this is a base model C8 Corvette. With the Z06 coming out with the flat plane crank and the base car being this good, the supercar makers better watch out. We're gonna take it out on the highway where we can go a little faster. And we're getting ready to go around an on-ramp here, so we'll get to see exactly how it feels and how the weight shifts. It's my first experience in a C8 if I haven't mentioned that enough already. I really like the instrumentation. Cornering's flat. I felt the weight in the back shift, but this is a mid-engine car, so it doesn't feel quite like a rear-engine car. And let's put some power down. And this car is just phenomenal. Very, very good. I cannot express how much more comfortable it is than the GTR. And how docile it is when you're not on the power, but when you get on the power, it wakes up in a hurry. Ride is very compliant, maybe more compliant than my Audi S3. And the car just feels solid, very solid. So while there might be some storage issues and things of that nature, granted we've got storage behind the motor and we've got storage in the front of the car, there is some impracticality to having something like this. But having said that, I think you could live with this every day as your only car. So that is the C8 Corvette. Now, quite honestly, as I mentioned during the drive, I came prepared to pick this car apart, and what I got was so much better than what I anticipated. The car is solid, the car is refined, the V8 is smooth, the way that the weight transfers over the rear axle is smooth, and the fit and finish on the interior of this car are really, really very, very good. The materials feel very premium. The ride is compliant, and to be quite honest, you could soak up thousands of miles in comfort in this car right here. But the question we came to ask is this the supercar for everyone? And to be quite honest, the way that the power comes on so dramatically, and the figures that it posts with the base car quoting a 0 to 60 time of 2.9 seconds with just 495 horsepower, and the experience that we had, I'm going to have to say this is the supercar for everyone. So, thanks for watching. Be sure that you hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen so that you don't miss more awesome content like this, and we'll talk to you soon.